Word of mouth. Someone told me who lives in Bristol and rang me up and said I should try and see if I can take part. It's brilliant, absolutely. So lucky to have found it.
This is fantastic. I mean, you've got all the inspiration you need around you. Knowledge, the wealth of knowledge here is incredible. I mean, if you had an issue, you could just go to somebody else and be like, I've got a problem, do you want to help me? And they will. It's fantastic, yeah. Such a nice environment. I'm very pleased they did it.
Most people here probably work on their own at home, and that's one sort of slight disadvantage of doing what we do, really. And so getting together is, fantastic, and bouncing ideas off each other and things.
I'm in a competition for 4 days, which helps concentrate your design to the limited time you've got. I've tried to keep mine as close to the block as possible because you don't want to be spending days just taking loads of stone off.
Well, this is going to be like a geometric sort of hexagon rock shape. They're a bit like the Giant's Causeway, where the rocks are sort of pushing up through the ground. That's what I'm trying to do anyway.
Yeah, this one's going to be, especially going to be kind of like a bonsai tree, but with snowflakes on top, giant kind of snowflakes is the plan anyway. We'll see how it shapes up.
It's based on a medieval dragon design and Arthurian myth of dragons under the ground, basically. And I've got 4 days to finish it, and hopefully that will be enough.
Well, I wasn't planning to be too competitive, just wanting to enjoy it socially. The work I'm doing, I'm learning it's called freeform since I'm here. It's evolving as it goes. I've got ideas, but it will be simple, abstract and tactile.
Well, the theme of the festival was emerging, and what I wanted to carve was it's supposed to be an alien emerging from its incubating host's chest. I just thought it was like, visually speaking, it would work quite well in stone, because it's got a lot of like rib cage and a lot of skeletal kind of form in it, and also it's got a mixture of different textures with the carpus and all the bony structures, and obviously the tubey like biomechanic kind of forms that go into it. I thought it would work pretty well.
I'm a stonemason. I run my own small company in Bristol. I've worked on some bigger buildings, Cannington Court in Somerset, and a few churches around Somerset and Bristol. This is going to be it's more of a classical sort of architecture sort of piece. It would be a scallop shell surrounded by volutes, which are, their traditional name for scrolls. And yeah, it should be quite nice. I'm a bit nervous at the moment. I've not done any proper carving before.
I'm working on a figure. I want to get effect of him tearing himself out of the stone, if I can. I've got a safety net in that if I don't get down to his hands and feet, then that's still part of the emergence from the stone. And if I can squeeze it in, I want to do some letter cutting around the base and use a quote from Brave New World, which starts something like, "But I didn't want comfort." I thought it was apt to stone carving.
I will make a family group, father, mother and a little child which emerge from his family, and he's looking at the world. But stone, it's very beautiful. It has a warm color, like a skin, like human skin.
This is actually going to be a bittern, which is a wading bird emerging from the reeds. And the idea, if you've got a bittern 5 foot away, you'll not be able to see it in the reeds. It's so well camouflaged. So what I'm going to try and do is to make the reeds look almost bird-shaped in the way they twist around, and have the plumage almost reed-shaped, so there's that interplay between the subject and its surroundings, so emerging from the reeds.
It's going to be an egg, but it's going to be a dragon egg. So the dragon, the theme is emergence, so the dragon will be emerging out of the egg, hopefully. by Saturday. That's the plan.
This is like a morning glory flower, which has a very long flower to it, and then that's going to come down to the bottom of the stone, do like a little loop somewhere in this bit of stone around here, and then as it comes back up this side, it's going to become, it'll be a mirror image, so it'll still be a flower head, but it'll be all very flat edges and very clinically defined, so really kind of fine edges, the complete opposite in form basically. So really free hands, moving, flowing to quite straight edged. So yeah, that's what's in my head.
It's basically going to be based on snails racing. It's going to be a snail race thing, so obviously the emergence thing is snail coming from the shell, so there's going to be three different stages of progression.
It's a sort of a couple of cows leaning on each other, making a sort of circle the way you often see in the countryside. And I come from Herefordshire, or just on the border, and I just love cows.
What I'm doing is I've cut this block of stone in half, and then I'm carving this out, do the same in the other one, and then join them together, and then take them apart. But have them closed sometimes, open sometimes. And what I'm trying to think about is carving is taking away the negative. So I'm just trying to work the other way round, if you like, by carving the inside of the stone out, but working in a positive form on the inside. And I enjoy it, you know, I enjoy going to work basically, which is, you know, I survive financially, but you know, you never know when your next job's going to be. But that's the price you pay for enjoying going to work.
I'm doing a baby, and the baby is coming into being, and with the theme being emergent, then coming into being and emerging was very important. So I thought I want to do a baby, and I feel very strongly about what youth are growing up into. You know, the world changed somewhat since my youth, and even though we've got a lot of technology, I find it's quite worrying the way we're heading.
Well, what I was hoping to do, what I intended to do, was obviously the theme of the festival is emergence, and I was going to do an abstract butterfly emerging from some sort of chrysalis or cocoon. But I realised I can't do that, so what I'm going to do is using this concrete chisel is just cut a swirl pattern into this piece of stone, and then later on today or tomorrow I'll start putting a ribbon of leaves around the outside.
So I'm actually got a 4-day lump of stone that I've got to carve in 3 days, and I'm doing this. I decided to do a fern because I love ferns. And we've got a shuttlecock fern in our garden, which is like a shuttlecock, you know, for playing with. But I'm going to do it with the fronds all curled in.
I make word sculptures, and so this is going to take the form of a vessel with a word that kind of dances across the surface. And the word is a Greek word, rather obscurely called kainos, which means new.
I'm doing a crocodile with babies. The theme is emergence, and so it's got baby crocodiles emerging from their eggs. This bit's a bit vague, so I've got to work that one out. So the crocodile's here, shielding her eggs, and she's carrying a baby in her mouth.
I'm carving the daughter of a friend of mine called Jasmine. The face is actually pointing that way, so luckily I can get away with working in secret around the other side maybe. But Jasmine's 6 years old, so I possibly have the harshest critic in Bristol waiting to see her sculpture when it's finished.
This is my piece here. It's based on the theme of life and death as well as the theme of emergence. And this head is going to be a skull, sort of emerging from the stone, holding a heart. So yeah, I've made a quarter size model, and I'm just working this. It's essentially it's a head, and the idea is it's emerging, a free spirit, something about freedom, movement, form.
Well, this is it's like a twist. It's on the theme of emergence, which is the theme that everybody's working on. I made one out of polystyrene here last week, and the way I normally work is I work very small, then I blow it up to the size that I'm going to do out of polystyrene. Then I transfer all the measurements from the polystyrene to the stone, so that I know at certain heights. It's like an X, Y, Z coordinates, you know. So you know at certain heights and certain widths, it has to be at a certain depth. And so once you've got those main points, you can then chisel away the excess.
What I'm working on for the festival is this sort of stone ripples. There's some reference here that I'm working from, and I'm just trying to recreate just a piece of nature, really. An idea of what it feels like to walk on sand ripples on the beach, basically.
I'm doing a head that's a person shielding their eyes from the light. They're emerging into the light. That's my take on emergence, the theme. And yeah, I think I've got quite a long way to go still, but yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. It's been great. I think a lot of people don't realise, they think sometimes it's cast concrete or something, but they can actually see that the work gone into it.